Welcome to Rock Valley, Iowa, and Thunder in the Valley, part of the Outlaw Truck and Tractor Pulling Series. This is the modified four-wheel drive trucks, and you were just looking at a very foxy lady, Charlie Miller, the driver.
Well, he ain't no lady. He is one hard driver. Starting this show off with noise. Starting this show off with power. Look at the ground speed. Look at the distance. 310 and 65. What a way to start this show off.
We go to the replay. You can tell from the launch. Look at that. Almost immediately, butterflies wide open.
Oh, you bet. He did not waste no time. Right down a road. Oh, man. Beautiful run.
Let's go down to Rick Carlson.
Now, earlier you've had some issues with a miss in there. How was it this time?
Night and day difference. It was all good.
So you narrowed it down, then able to fix it?
Yes, we did. We got it fixed.
A distance of 310. A lot of great pulling action coming up.
In the heart of the Midwest, there's a band of modern-day marauders. Mounted atop their beasts, they line up to throw down. They are outlaws.
Welcome to Rock Valley, Iowa for the Outlaw Truck and Tractor Pulling Series, Thunder in the Valley. Hello everyone, I'm Claude Wood along with Dave Bennett and Rick Carlson. We'll be bringing you the action today in two classes, four-wheel drive and diesel super stocks. But right now, let's get it underway with Secret Weapon. This is Fred Blue.
Man out of Rolla, Missouri. He's a motor builder by trade. He builds his own motors, builds a lot of motors for a lot of other people. Oh, look at the smoke come off that clutch. He's got a problem. That clutch smoked way too much, slid it way too hard. Messed him up on the starting. In fact, the way it went down right there, I'm not too sure. He only gets a distance of 295 and 67.
Look inside, right after the launch. Pretty easy run until right there.
Well, you seen the clutch lock up. That's when he started bouncing, was when that clutch finally locked up. He's got a problem. He knows he's got a problem because that is not a typical Secret Weapon run.
Joe Claypoole driving Risky Business. All big block engines, but some different sizes, Dave.
Well, the smallest you'll see in this class is 650 cubic inches. The largest you're going to be is up around 750 cubic inches. All got to be naturally aspirated. Claypoole with the Risky Business, burning and churning. Heard a little bit of flutter right there. He goes 303 and 99, puts him in number 2 right now, but I don't think it'll live.
Quite a ways back from that 310. Going to the replay. What a straight run. The motor sounds great there. He just did not get the distance from it.
Little curious about that bobble in the motor back there around 275 foot. He did have a bobble.
This is Dustin Ritter. He drives Stroker. He's the defending points champion.
A brother team, Doug and Dustin. One of them is an agriculture instructor at school. The other one stays on the Charlotte farm and keeps it running big and heavy. But they both hard-hitting four-wheel drive pickup pullers. Oh, them motors are hitting some 8,000 RPM big time. He's going to move into number 2 at 306 and 21. And Claude, these boys are not used to taking number 2, but the competition has really come up to them this year.
It really has, and this is going to be a very tight class, we can tell. Hugging that line over at the left.
He always does like that left line. Let's go down to Rick Carlson.
That's 306, good enough for position number 2.
Yeah, no, we're happy with that run. Track is excellent. Going away a little bit down here at the end. We tried a little different spot, got it in the number 2 position with this caliber of trucks. I'm happy with where we're at right now, I promise you that.
What would you have changed?
I ain't so sure. I might not have been a little more aggressive. I'm worried I was a little late coming through the middle of the track, and I could have got maybe a hair more speed. Outside of that, that'd be the only thing as of right now.
Next puller will be Mike Williams. He drives Wild Wind.
This is one of the pullers, comes from out of state. He comes from Bigelow, Minnesota. We see him once, maybe twice a year. Comes down to Rock Valley to play with the Outlaws. Oh, a lot of bouncing going on right there. Churning. Turning hard. Oh, look at dancing around right there. We're catching word that he got disqualified. The rear tires apparently bounced over that line when he went to dancing, Claude.
It looked like it. He's going further and further to the left, and I think right about there he hits it, realizes it, and tried to steer right.
Don't make no difference if the sled touches the white line, but the pickup better not.
Leaderboard Charlie Miller has been leading from the get-go. Dustin Ritter could only come within 4 feet. A lot more pulling action after the break. Richard Clark and Redline. Stay with us.
The Outlaw Truck and Tractor Pulling Series is being brought to you by VP Racing, Macon Power. Extreme Performance and Tire Cutting, a cut above the rest. Stage 8, the world's best locking fastener. And by the Outlaw Truck and Tractor Pulling Association, Thunder in the Dirt.
Welcome back to Rock Valley, Iowa, Thunder in the Valley, the Outlaw Truck and Tractor Pulling Series. Modified four-wheel drive trucks. This is Richard Clark. He is one of the most consistent drivers in the Outlaws four-wheel drive class.
The man I'd want to drive my four-wheel drive truck. He was a little shaky on that start right there, got a little bouncy. Leveled out. His motors always do sing very well. And consistency's going to work. He goes 306 and 59, puts him in number 2 right now. We called a real shaky start.
It was. That will probably not hold up. Again, the mark to beat 310.65. You can see the ride inside the cab. It's pretty smooth. It's not moving much.
It's not as smooth as you really think it is. Let's go down to Rick Carlson and find out what this man thinks.
Richard, you snuck up into 3rd place.
Yeah, the beginning of the run wasn't the best. Otherwise, I'd been right up in there. So.
Track grabbed you.
Yeah, it did. It's a good track.
Here comes Dean Christensen getting ready to go. Red hot. This is a nice-looking 88 Ford Ranger.
This truck has been down the track so many times. This driver, Dean Christensen, and this truck, Red Hot, plays to the camera. They've always done good when the cameras come out. Boy, that motor's pulling its heart out. Not going to do as good as he wanted to today. He goes 305 and 51.
As we go to the replay, Dave, I've noticed some drivers have their driving position in the center, some to the left. Any advantage one way or the other?
Well, Dean likes to sit in the center right here. He's got a fiberglass firewall. He can actually look down at the tires and see how close he is to either the right or the left side.
This is Fred Blue. He's driving his second truck now. This one is called Ultimate Weapon.
Well, I don't know how much knowledge he gained off of his first one to be able to use on this one. Boy, those big stroke motors are singing. Digging in, a good run, a very good distance, 310 and 21. He is 44 hundredths of a foot out of the lead. How much closer can you get than that?
Very close. He has set up on the left side, but look at this. This is a straight and true run all the way down, no movement.
Oh, what could he have done different to get 44 hundredths?
Fred, did you learn anything with Secret Weapon that you could move to Ultimate Weapon?
Not a lot. I changed gears, but the clutch went out in the other one, and I didn't get a good pass out of it. So best I can do for now.
That'll bring up Josh Mazier. He's driving a new truck, even though he calls it a 2008 Chevy.
Well, he ain't got around to naming it officially yet, but that's the body stop. Brand spanking new truck for Josh. Now, he's not a new driver. He's been around for a long time, drove a truck called Stretch. It might be a new truck, but man, looking really nice. Not the distance he wanted, but 295 and 55. He's going to drive it off the track. What's wrong with that?
Pretty good run. I've got a question here. As you look at the front tires, they stick out a lot further than the rear tires. What's up with that?
Well, the rule book reads that the rear tires has got to cover 1/2 of the track put down by the front tires, and the guys get real exotic looking for new dirt.
Now driving Wild Child, this is Darren Kriz.
South Dakota, man. We're talking about all the South Dakota pullers in the previous shows. Well, it ain't all in tractors. They got pickups as well. Wild Child out of Tyndall, South Dakota. It's like the suspension really loading those rear tires. You seen how the back end was squatted down, front end up in there. His suspension not set up for this kind of a pulling track. He goes 306 and 87. Not a bad run, but you don't like to see a four-wheel drive pickup squat that much.
Yeah, and as the truck comes further down the track, you can see the rear end going down lower.
Nothing that a little more weight up front might not cure.
Charlie Miller still leads it, but not by much. Beginning to tighten up. Less than a foot separate third, fourth, and fifth places. Dave Kriz, he will drive Aftershock when we come back. Welcome back. Standing room only at Rock Valley. Thunder in the Valley. Yeah, they're glad to be here at the Outlaw Truck and Tractor Pulling Series. This is Dave Kriz out of Tyndall, South Dakota. And Dave drives Aftershock.
Listen to this motor. Notice how this one is setting flat and level. Singing, digging, pawing, clawing. Oh, good, just not far enough. Got over in loose dirt, only goes 281.95. Here's another one, Claude. Now, he played with that sideline. He was really watching that left sideline.
Boy, I'm not so sure that I would have set it up that close. Boy.
That's about as close you're going to get without dancing and touching the chalk. That was a gamble.
Our next puller is supposed to be Dave Bamber, but he had a problem and pulled out. Rick Carlson caught up with him.
Dave, you're in the staging lanes, and, well, all's not good.
Well, no, we actually, I believe that it's some brake clean I was using to clean my vacuum pump, and I think the fumes got up in the crankcase, and when the engine fired, it set that off and blew both the ends of the intake up and blew the whole side out of the oil pan. So it's not repairable soon, so we'll have to fix it this week at the shop, I guess.
Up next is Tyler Green. He comes from a pulling family. In fact, Tyler is the Colorado Points champion right now. He drives Kamikaze Unleashed.
Kamikaze Unleashed, Colorado time. There's like 10 different states at this Rock Valley show, Colorado being one of them, and this guy from Colorado really bounced that front end. Lucky it didn't fly off from underneath there, but hey, he moved into third place with 309.07.
Well, we'll go on board. It's a smooth ride, at least for a few seconds there, but what caused the bounce at the end, you think?
I just got on the hard spot of the track, the motor went upstairs, the tires went upstairs, and just could not stay a hold of the track.
Tyler, you seem to do really well when we get this low altitude stuff.
Yeah, the motors like it out here. There's plenty of air, makes them breathe.
Now, this late in the pull, some people have said the track's gone away. Others have said it's gotten too good. What do you think?
It's coming around. It's getting better and better as it goes.
Here comes the thumper backing up. Mary Thornton doing the driving. This is a 2003 Ford Super Duty.
Man out of Gravity, Iowa, made his intentions well known early in the season. He's going to be running for the points. A good runner he is. He stayed away from the sidelines. Going to kind of wind up right in the middle of the pack around 305 and 58. Nothing outstanding on that pull, just a good, smooth, straight run.
Well, the track is starting to firm up some here. The distance to beat, 310.65. I don't know if anybody can beat that.
Well, I tell you what, you can bet they're going to be shooting at it. That's for a fact.
It looked like you started off well, but then it just kind of died.
Yeah, there was that track's pretty tough today, so we just can't seem to get on top of it for some reason, but we're going to have to do some work and get it figured out. So.
Okay, how does it change from earlier? Now it's getting tougher and some other things.
Well, Lane pulled it earlier, so I'm pulling it again. So you just change air pressures and do some gear changing and that sort of thing in order to get it to hook a little bit better. So.
You know, if you're going to name your truck Bad Attitude, you better be running a mountain motor.
He's got a big one, that is for a fact. I've always liked the name, though, the Bad Attitude. I always tell the crowd, named after my mother-in-law, but that's as far as that's going to go. Spin and grin. That big motor, that is a lot of cubic inches. That's one of your 700-plus cubic inches. Seen the front end chattering a little bit. Boys better start doing some changing the driving style. The distances are going back at 293 and 32.
Well, after Farrell Martin pulls, one more puller, but what changes can he make?
Well, I'm looking at air pressure on the track, the clutch sliding out. You got to make this hard track work to your advantage, and one puller left. I don't know if he's got time to do it.
Well, he's got a shot. He's your past points champion, Tom Byers. His truck is Agent Orange.
The GMC truck, this guy knows how to work it. He knows how to work it. It's one of his favorite tracks. Motor's singing. Traction starting to go away. Distance to 299.26, not where he wanted to be.
Charlie Miller has led the class all day long, and he ends up winning it, but by only 44 100ths. Well, track conditions can change from moment to moment. How to keep it consistent? Dave found out earlier today that's a lot of work.
Rock Valley, Iowa. Voted the cream of the crop of tractor pulls with Outlaw truck and tractor pullers. Got a lot of crowd. That helps out when you come to voting, but the reason pullers vote for it to be a number one is because they've got the best track to pull on. Got Bob Devler here. He is the man that makes this track what it is. Bob, when do you start building this pulling track?
Oh, usually we start maybe, depending on the weather. Mother Nature helped us out this year, but usually we start putting water on maybe 3-4 days ahead of time if it doesn't rain. And last year we put probably 50,000 gallons of water on. This year we got 1.5 inches of rain on a Thursday afternoon, and that just helped us out tremendously. About 2 weeks ago we lasered it, got it all leveled and everything. They come out and helped us out, NCC, Technical College, they come and help us out with that. Last night we tore it all up, about 2 o'clock we got done, getting it all ready to go again for the day.
When we come back, the most powerful diesel engines in competition. That'll be the diesel super stocks, and we'll be looking for you to join us.
The Outlaw Truck and Tractor Pulling Series is being brought to you by Precision Turbo, the world's foremost manufacturer of high-performance aftermarket turbochargers. Sapp Brothers, welcome, be our guest. Graham Tire, your tire store next door. And by Dustless Blasting, it's the future of surface preparation.
Welcome back to Rock Valley, Iowa, Thunder in the Valley. It's the Outlaw Truck and Tractor Pulling Series. First driver in the glass will be Tyler Ulmer. Tyler's doing the driving for his dad, Mark.
Well, the lost tractor is a long story behind the word lost. They pulled for years. He dropped out to take care of family and farm. A lot of people thought the tractor was lost, renamed it Lost, and come back pulling with the Outlaws. Family affair, Tyler doing the driving. Gets a distance of 326 feet even. He's got the option to take and refuse, but I see him calling for a pull-off tractor right there, so that's telling me he's going to keep this pull.
That was a good pull from the beginning. That smoke went dark very quickly, but what's with all this up and down?
Well, you got so much more tire speed in this super stock class, so much more power. A little bit difference in the track makes a whole lot of difference.
It's a little bit rare to see a John Deere in the diesel superstock class, but Roger Peterson is going to give it a shot with just another one.
Man comes out of Minnesota, and he is no slouch. He knows how to make the Deere run. Look how fast a ground speed he's got going. Right down to the flagman. Flagman didn't even have to move. He just come right to him. What a distance, 3:44 and 47.
And that will be the mark to beat. And you see from the stacks, it was black, went to gray, now back to black. He's making some power there.
Hey, I like the aiming stick right there. Put it in the middle of the track and let's go. Yeah, that's not a typical John Deere hood ornament right there, but it looks pretty cool from the driver's seat. So now let's get a look at it head on and see what the pull looks like.
Well, that hood ornament may be for good luck, but I can tell you, this is some good driving.
They wanted to dance over to the right side. He held it just right, didn't get too aggressive. Really, really good ground speed.
Matt Goodwin has won several points championships. He drives Intimidator.
This man knows what it's like to walk up to the pay window at number one. So many years. Good shot of those two turbos feeding another one. There's more than two in that underneath that hood. Looking over at that leader flag just to see where he might be. 3:34 and 24. And when he looked over at that leader flag, he knew he was about 10 feet short.
What you're going to hear is over 2,000 horsepower giddy up.
I tell you what, you put that much horsepower on 8,500 pounds and crank them tires that fast, it is a thrill to drive. Go down to Rick Carlson.
You're shaking your head, Matt.
Don't know if I got a little too high on the front, maybe come out of the hole too hard, didn't get the tires hooked up, but it run down the track. I'm pretty happy with it.
Coming up next is Taylor VanBeek. He drives Extreme Pleasure, and I can tell you last night, Dave, he did not have much pleasure.
No, coming out with a new brand, the AGCO tractor in the super stock division is one thing. Running in front of your home crowd is another thing. And then have oil coming out the side shield and fire coming out the front and the top. Friday night, it wasn't the 13th, but you'd have thought it was. Our track officials getting in there very quickly with the fire extinguishers, get the fire put out. Now let's see how well he fixed it from last night.
Yeah, a lot of wrenching last night, and there's still quite a few unknowns with this tractor since it is new to the class. Uh-oh.
Yeah, he got off the line good. He went down the track, but you still heard that same turbocharger go down. Good thing about it, we don't have no fire, but he lives at 223 and 10.
Earlier we said the John Deere is rare in this class. Look at this. Roger Peterson wins it by 10 feet. Here's Rick Carlson with our winner.
Roger, that pull was enough. It got you the win.
Yeah, it was enough. It was a lot better than what it was yesterday, so we're happy with that.
Anytime you get to win. What did you do different today than yesterday?
We had turbo issues yesterday, and we threw a new turbo on, and that's about all we changed.
So like a new turbo takes place of the old turbo, and that's all. Just a little cash and a little time.
Just a little cash and a little time. That's all you need is cash.
Well, I'd say Roger is more comfortable sitting on his tractor than he is standing in front of a television camera, but wrenching on it all night helped a bunch.
Sure did, and that will put a wrap on it for us today. For Dave Bennett and Rick Carlson, Claude Wood, so long, everyone.